Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy, Sports and Fitness Rants? I'm back, guys. Click that like button, subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel, man. Got a great video for you guys as usual, man. I want to thank you guys for joining me again. I want to thank you guys for all the love, the comments, all that, man. Mad respect to you guys. You guys have been showing me a lot of respect, man, and I really appreciate you guys understanding what I'm doing on this channel. You guys get it, man. Because this is not a bash channel or a knock channel, any of that stuff. This is a put it in perspective channel. Tell the truth channel. And sometimes the truth hurts, man. People don't want to hear the truth, right? You can't handle the truth. And they cannot handle the truth about Michael Jordan. You know why, guys? Because the truth is unbelievable. That's really what it is, guys. The truth about Michael Jordan's career is actually unbelievable for many, many people who did not grow up at that time and watch it live. You guys cannot understand or believe that someone could be 6-0, playing against all these legends, dominating an era of legends, not plumbers and taxi drivers as they try to think that it was, because they can't believe that someone could dominate that way. You look at the stats, the accolades, the winning. You're like, who is this guy, Michael Jordan? He must have been playing against high schoolers. That's what he did to the NBA, guys. That's what he did, man. And you guys understand what I'm doing because there's a lot of lies being told about Michael Jordan and his era, his contemporaries, right? The other all-time greats that he played against. You guys get it, man. That's why I'm here, right? Because like I told you guys, Michael Jordan don't owe me nothing, man. But I owe Michael Jordan, man. I owe you, Michael Jordan. So this is for you, man. Anyway, you guys know what to do, man. Hit that play button. Turn the volume all the way up, man. Turn it all the way up. And let's roll. So yes, guys, like I said, Michael Jordan made the game easier for his teammates. That's what we're going to talk about in this video. How Michael Jordan made the game easier for his teammates. And what do I mean by that? How did Michael Jordan make the game easier for his teammates, right? We're going to talk about this. Now, we all know that Michael Jordan made the game easier for his teammates on the basketball court, right? The actual court itself, right? In a live game, playing with Michael Jordan will make you better. If I played with Michael Jordan, I would be a lot better for playing with Michael Jordan. That's what all-time greats do, right? They usually will raise the players' level around them. That's usually what all-time legends can do, right? They make the players around them better. But when I'm talking about Michael Jordan making the game easier for his teammates, it's not about the on-court stuff that Michael Jordan being there, raised the level of these other guys because he was on the court with them. That's not what I'm talking about. Because yes, Michael Jordan did do that. But in this video, we're going to specifically focus on how he made the game easier for them and what I'm talking about by that. So guys, if you think about the Last Dance documentary, yes, I know, guys, I bring it up all the time, the Last Dance documentary in a lot of my videos. Why is that, though? I keep telling you guys, a lot of people weren't around at that time. They don't know about Michael Jordan like that. They don't know about the Chicago Bulls and how they dominated the 90s and really what it meant to society, right? In the world. It wasn't just basketball. These guys were like pop stars, like movie stars. They were the Chicago Bulls, and Michael Jordan was the leader of that group, man. These guys were huge. You guys just probably don't even realize it, man. But if you watch The Last Dance, you get a little glimpse of that, right? And you see a little glimpse of what it meant to Michael Jordan to play a certain way, right? The intensity of him, right? If you don't want to play that way, don't play that way. Guys, man, I get the chills whenever I think and I see that clip, man. It gives me just the chills, man, because he was emotional, man. You saw it in his eyes, man. It meant a lot to him, man. But in the Last Dance documentary, I want to speak about something that B.J. Armstrong said, and I've heard multiple teammates of Michael Jordan say this multiple times, guys. But shout out to B.J. Armstrong, man. B.J. Armstrong is one of the realest dudes, man. He always keeps it real about the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan of the 90s. He always keeps it real. Anytime I hear B.J. Armstrong speak, he always speaks with class, dignity, and respect for Michael Jordan and the time that he was on the Bulls, man. None of this animosity, none of this selfish baby stuff, none of 20 years later, I want to cry about nonsense and bring up things that have nothing to do with anything and try to change narratives and all this other nonsense. So shout out to B.J. Armstrong for being one of the realest dudes, man, for always keeping it real, always speaking with class and stuff, man, and respect, man. And I always respected his game, so shout out to you, B.J. Armstrong. But he said that oftentimes the games were easier than practice. That's what he said. Like I told you, I've heard multiple teammates say this about Michael Jordan and his intensity in practice. That not most of the time, but oftentimes the game seemed easier than the practices did. Because that was Michael Jordan, the intensity of Michael Jordan. I've touched on this in past videos, guys, what he did to these guys in practice. He would attack these guys. You can listen to the stories of other teammates. I told you about Craig Hodges talking about when Scottie Pippen tried to call out Michael Jordan and he proceeded to just destroy him, scoring him at will. Scottie Pippen could not stop him in 1990s, guys. But it was many stories about Michael Jordan attacking Scottie Pippen in practice, going after Horace Grant, going after all these guys, riding them, B.J. Armstrongs, the Paxsons, the Steve Kerrs, the Scott Burrells, pushing these guys to get greater and to be better. So when people talk about the games, oftentimes being easier than the practices, that's how he made the game easy for his teammates. He made the game easier by pushing them in practice, right? Riding them, making the practices so intense that the regular season games were like, this is not that bad because our practices are so intense and so crazy and so contested that the games don't seem as crazy, right? Because he worked on their mental game. I told you, Michael Jordan worked on his team's mental strength, their confidence, which is why they could perform at a high level with Michael Jordan. When Michael Jordan needed these guys, they were there for him because he got them there. He's the one that prepared them mentally, right? That was the reason. So if he needed to go to a John Paxson at the end of a game, he could be there for Michael Jordan. If he needed to go to a B.J. Armstrong or Steve Kerr or Scottie Pippen or Horace Grant or Bill Cartwright, these guys were there a lot of times than not. Why? Because of Michael Jordan. Because of the way he pushed them in practice, the standard that he held. That's how he made the game easier for these guys. It wasn't just about him on the basketball court and having these guys stand around and be, yo, guys, you guys are playing with me. You guys stand over there. I'm going to do my thing. I'll pass you the ball if you're open. That's not how Michael Jordan played the game, and that's not how he made them better. We all think about the triangle system. That was to help Michael Jordan's teammates, to get them a little bit of help. I told you guys, Michael Jordan never played with another scorer. He never played with a guy who can go his own basket consistently at a high level. Scottie Pippen was never that dude. That's why they needed a triangle offense, right? To help some of these other guys like a B.J. Armstrong, a John Paxson, a Bill Cartwright, a Scottie Pippen, a Horace Grant. And Michael Jordan's practices, guys. Have you ever heard another player say that our practices were so intense that they seemed harder than games? That games oftentimes weren't that bad because the practices were so intense? You don't hear that. As a matter of fact, these days, you hear about how people don't practice. I mean, guys don't even play games anymore, man. They're just sitting out for rest and for mental breaks or whatever the case may be. You think their practices are that intense? These guys don't even have intensity for a regular season game. But you're telling me they're going to have intensity at practice? Not to that level. Now, we know there were guys in the history of the NBA that practiced intensely that were just like a Michael Jordan. Maybe not to the degree, but they were there. We all know about Kobe Bryant. But there were guys like Larry Bird and Bill Russell. These guys were intense, man. But when I think about Michael Jordan, I listen to his teammates speak about the practices. That's how you know he made the game easier for these guys. And that's how he made the game easier. You guys see, I'm sweating, man. I'm getting emotional right now. I mean, it's hot in my car right now, but I'm getting crazy about this stuff, man. Because it really is crazy how people try to down Michael Jordan as a bad teammate for pushing these guys. Meanwhile, these guys are talking about how the game was easier oftentimes than the practices were. I never heard anybody else say that. Not over the last 20, 30 years. Nope. Michael Jordan's teammates say that, not just one or two. These guys routinely say these things, how hard practice was. And that's why they had the success that they did, guys. It was not by accident. It wasn't a mistake. It's not a coincidence. You know, guys, I'll leave it on this. I was in the military for 4 years, guys. I was in the U.S. Navy, as a lot of you guys might know, man. I've talked about it before, right? And in the military, we have serious training, right? You have to train for serious situations, guys, right? I'm going into detail about this stuff, but you guys get it, right? And your training, your quote-unquote, your practice has to be intense. It has to matter. Because God forbid an emergency situation happens and you got to do something, man. Your practices have been lollygagging and your training hasn't been that intense or really that good. Then what happens when the real scenarios happen, guys? It's hard. You don't know what to do. You're not prepared. In the military, we were always prepared, guys, for anything that was going to happen. Michael Jordan always prepared his teammates for anything that was going to happen on the court. They were ready for it. Mentally, they were ready. They had the confidence. They weren't scared. They weren't worried. Because they knew that Michael Jordan pushed them and got them where they needed to be. They believed in him. They trusted in him. And eventually, he trusted in them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, man. You guys know what I'm talking about, man. You guys get it, man. Michael Jordan made the game easier for his teammates, not by the way he played on the court, and passing them the ball or something like that when they were open. Many greats do that. Michael Jordan raised these guys' level at practice to another place that they have never been before, that they didn't even know they can go, so that these guys are talking about how hard practice was compared to games. How many times you heard people talk about that kind of stuff, guys? Michael Jordan's teammates talk about that. Catch you guys on the next one.